for this one, and this is typically where I do my intro and all that other stuff, you know, but this one, I would say clip right here. That way the audience can hear you for sure. So how I start out, humbly and respectfully. You sure you don't want to say hi, man? I feel like I'm doing you a disservice, you know, because again, you telling your story on the platform. I don't want to.
Actually, to be honest with you, I just rather stand up.
For real?
Yeah, I ain't worried about standing
up. This should, let me, okay, we in the, I just want to make sure you in the camera. You got to.
Hold on. Yeah. You know what? I just have it here and not stand up. How about that?
Perfect. Are you sure?
Yeah.
We might be here for a minute depending on how the flow and energy goes, sir. You might end up taking the seat. I've done hour-long interviews.
Ooh, I don't have an hour because they about to close at 11, right?
All right, say less. So how about this? Let's shoot for 20 minutes. Yeah. Can I get 20 minutes of your time, and we'll just go from there?
Yeah.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da. Clock. All right, I got you for 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to get to most of the meats and the potatoes in this interview. So again, thank you for coming to my platform. Thank you for coming to this channel. So I've interviewed powerlifters, bodybuilders, strongman, Olympic lifters, martial artists, cosplayers, people within the realm of fitness. So what I do is I see somebody who either goes to my local gym, I point them out, and if I see, and to say the least, you've got some, between the physique and the lifts that you do, you come in here and you eat every day. So I know that there's a story, and I know that there's some knowledge that you have within the fitness realm. So with that being said, please introduce yourself, and then, like I said, flow and energy, I'll come up with the questions from there, sir.
Well, my name is Willie Gardner. I'm originally from Connecticut. Been down here, Bridgeport, Connecticut, to be exact. I've been down here since '95. I was military.
Come a little closer for me, sir. There we go. Yep.
So I'm a little bit seasoned in this game. Now, the way it started was very interesting. You really couldn't lift in the military during the time. You couldn't be really stacked. I weighed about $130. My PT, 300 was nothing. During that time.
That was a push-up, sit-ups, and 2 mile.
Yeah, push-up, sit-up. It wasn't like it was today. I was infantry basically the whole time. And
grunt. All right, say less. Combat MOS.
I was there the whole time. Did a lot of stuff. Got deployed a couple places. Had fun. Military career was really good. What really got me into it is because obviously I'm short as hell. So I was always I actually was the pack mule. I always had to hold everybody. I never fell out of anything. So I was able to withstand a lot of weight. So I actually when I got out, I just ran with it. I was still weighed like a buck, I say about $145. And actually I was coming to this particular gym at the time.
Worlds.
No, it wasn't Worlds. It was completely different. I forgot the name of it. I think it was called like AC or something like that. This is like in 98, 99.
He's a veteran at the gym.
Yeah. I used to live, if you know this gym, they used to be called Cameron Arms back there. That's what I actually lived at, and I used to cut through the back of the neighborhood to get over here. So it was, and this is when this gym was, believe it or not, some of the same equipment is still in here. I ain't gonna say nothing. Some of the same, but it still works. I mean, it's still good. It's seasoned and it's good.
What was the community like back then?
Well, the community
here, well, in the lifting, in the realm of fitness, what was the community like back then?
Back then, it was like, it really wasn't. Everyone lived together. It wasn't like, it was a lot of meatheads. Then I could say there's a lot of people who. They only focused on a couple things like bench, squat. Shit, deadlift was even.
It wasn't a thing back then?
No. People didn't deadlift at all. It was either bench or squat. That was it.
I'm just out of curiosity, was powerlifting really a thing back in those times?
Powerlifting wasn't, CrossFit wasn't, none of that stuff was. It's either they ask you how much you bench or how much you squat.
That's it?
That was it. And which that was the standard during that time. I mean, people who deadlift, they did, but it wasn't really something that people wanted to know about. People did it and didn't know the fundamentals of what it actually does. Actually, you only did it in sports. Remember, football, any sports you played, anything back then, you did deadlifts with that. But outside of that, but remember, in the military during that time, they really want us to even lift weights. We had like a little bench down there, but we had to stay in weight. If you weigh too much, you got taped.
Yeah.
And then even if your body was still good, you still went on the fat fat boy program.
Yeah.
Hey, you got taped and all kind of stuff. But so
Foolishness, got you. Yeah.
But I say the gym got good, really, really got good is when I say about 2000, 2001. That's when the first major shift happened. That's when people, I could say, started doing more fundamentals.
Do you feel like social media and the internet played into that?
Nah, we were doing it before that even happened.
Okay.
This is like even like before MySpace and none of that stuff.
Ooh,
people
okay.
was lifting. That's when it really shifted a transition. I could say 50 probably had influence on that.
Who, 50 Cent?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Okay, no,
you remember because he came out with Massacre and he was all like this, and people was like,
you don't believe maybe like, you know, the classic Arnold or the Ronnie Coleman's during that time?
well, they all played a factor because I remember a show I used to watch that had Lee Haney. And I used to watch Lee Haney all the time growing up. Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, you know, Flex and all of them. I actually watched that. That's what actually got my mind looking at bodybuilding. But during that time, it was like you really couldn't get in the gym. We had project gyms and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
But when it comes to actually shifting, I'm gonna say that because this community here, I'm not talking about anywhere else. I'm talking about the community here in Fayetteville, shifted, and that's when they really started lifting. Like that's when another gym called ProMart opened up, and that's when everybody, because this gym wasn't really as it is now. All this equipment here, all this stuff here wasn't like this. ProMart was the hub,
The go-to.
Like, yeah,
okay,
that's where everyone went in there to grind. That's when you went there and saw these people actually start to bench over 5, benching close to 6, and we never seen that before. And now it's like that would intrigue me. So I went in there and I got the membership back then was like $10, $5 or $10 a month, and that's what really intrigued me. So I'm watching all these people, and during that time it was no such thing as a weight class. Like you went in there, you looked at that weight. If someone benched 400, if you weigh $130, $140, you better put it up like them. And it was like
no matter how. Wait.
Yeah, I benched 450 at 178.
So
think about that. There's people 178. I benched 450, and that's raw. Like so, people do that now, but during that time, I stood out because Zeus had a name for me called Mighty Mouse. He's seen the whole thing.
Uncle Zeus, I'm gonna bring it to the channel one day, I promise. But
so that was one of the things that I went in there and did, and it was terrible. It was so much pressure. I can't even. I still remember the day. I did it when I was 27.
The 450?
Yeah, I did it when I was 27.
And again, it didn't matter if you were 6'2", 300 pounds, whatever your counterpart put up, you put up.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was the bragging rights you had. If you want to look at it in a competitive stage, there probably was different classes, but competitive to come to local had its own set of rules.
Okay.
So the local was like, if you're gonna lift with us, you're gonna do what we do. There was no such thing as, all right, play around to find out. You want to get in here, we can take it off, boom. And it was like, you could have sleeves and all that kind of stuff, but you got clowned. You need to do it raw.
I got you.
So it was no belt, none of that stuff. You took it off, boom, put it up.
Allow me to pose, when did weight class become a factor then in the realm of fitness?
Well, basically, I saw it come in around 2010, I think I seen it really start to change. That's when I think CrossFit really hit. I think that's when, I can't remember but when that transition came in, when people decided to make money off of it.
Okay.
Think about it, when people started to make money off of all this stuff, that's when they started to break the classes down. Little fun fact, all this MMA, when it first came out, there was no weight class then. Horace Gracie and Ken Shamrock.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember watching that. So think about that. When they start making money, they may start different weight classes. So the same thing with lifting. When money start getting involved, more classes got involved. Boom, 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 boom.
So if it wasn't money to be made, I'm asking, if there wasn't money to be made, the concept of weight class probably would have never been introduced into the realm of weightlifting?
It was inevitable. It's going to happen, but it depends on who was going to market it first.
Okay.
Kind of like the whole thing about free running. People used to do that all the time. We used to call it City Chase in Connecticut. Then all of a sudden, I saw people making money off it. I said, damn, I should have recorded them. But we used to do that.
Say less.
That or that shit with Jackass. Like, we was doing stuff like that, and then next thing you know, they famous. I'm like, damn it, we just missed it, you know. But
So we didn't think of it first.
Yeah, didn't think about it first. But a lot of stuff was going to happen. So the whole thing with weight class, it was going to happen. This like, cause see, remember it was always in the Olympics and stuff, but people didn't really look at it in that perspective, and it was more for sports. If you wasn't playing football, basketball, baseball, soccer, any of that stuff, it wasn't really looked upon like in the regular like civilian like that. Like even military wasn't like that until. Think about it. Military has it now for certain reasons, because, you know,
body composition and seeing. Yeah, I know.
Going to combat and someone can't pick somebody up.
Yeah.
What you got to do? It doesn't matter how much drilling you have.
Got you.
If you're weak, you're weak.
So allow me to ask you this in the realm of bodybuilding. So you're no rookie, I'm pretty sure, to the politics of bodybuilding. In bodybuilding, when you started your bodybuilding journey, so your weightlifting journey, you know, took it way back for us, gave us a little education on it. So when you started going into the realm of bodybuilding, what were some of the things you were introduced to, and what were some of the things you learned in the realm of bodybuilding?
Well, in the realm of bodybuilding, I mean, I already knew the fundamentals. I just wasn't interested in bodybuilding at that time. I was lifting. I wanted to have like power. Then when I switched over, that enough is enough. I know that now I had the all proper form technique is key. I'm glad for me I had that structure, that body structure, so it was a lot easier for me to mold it down. A lot of people starting don't have it, so it's harder for them to build up something they don't have yet. I already had this fundamental, so I just had to drop and dial in. So now I know that cardio is a factor. Doing proper form, finding the right exercise that corresponds with you is the key to all this. It's 1,001 exercises per each muscle group. It's figure out which one works. If you have a certain injury, you can't do this. You can't do this particular movement. You got to find a movement that compensates for that same exact movement. And if you feel it, you know you're good. Like, but also remember that you still have to put numbers behind it, reps behind it, science behind it, because if you do 500 push-ups a week, you think anything's gonna happen? So you have to put time and patience into it. It's not a fast game. People want it fast. You have to build. It takes months, years to even see a significant change. So you have to be patient in this. Even if you've been lifting for a while, you can see that at one point in time you could bench this, and all of a sudden you could do something else. Be like, when did this happen? You can't even, sometimes you can't even tell when you change, because it just happens. And when it happens, it sticks with you. So,
apologize. Do you feel like nutrition also played a factor?
oh, nutrition is the key too. I like actually don't eat after midnight, gremlin style. Don't do that. But eating is the key, because it's true. 70% of it is eating. Training will come. If you're not eating right, you got to make sure you see what foods correspond with yourself too. If you take too much salt in, what does it do to you? Take too much sugar in, what does it do to you? Or do you need to have more or less of something? Eating clean is eating clean of what affects you the best. I know some people who can't eat certain foods, which food allergies is terrible.
That's a real thing?
It's a real thing. So when it comes to nutrition, some people have beliefs too. They can't eat certain things. They can't eat meat, so they're vegetarians. So you just got to figure out what meals work for you and be consistent with that meal. Like, you know, some people don't like rice. Some people can't eat rice. So you got to figure out, okay, do I eat a sweet potato? Or some people don't like chicken. Some people can't eat eggs. I know so many people who can't eat eggs. So, yes. So many people. I don't know if you know anybody. I know tons of people who just can't eat eggs.
Well, no, so that this poses another question with just those examples that you gave. Do you feel like the discipline, with all those factors that you just mentioned, do you feel like the discipline and staying committed to the nutrition aspect is hard for some?
Yes.
In the realm of body,
Yes, because you have certain natural habits that you used to for years that you got to actually stop doing. Like, say for instance, if you like having certain sweets, like some people like having Cokes, Mountain Dews, or sweet teas, you know, you got to Got to slow down on it, especially if you want to see. But like I said, it's based on what your body. Some people have fast metabolism. Some people could eat anything and be like this, and some people eat one thing and be blown up. You see people. I see so many people who eat something and their ankles and feet swell. So,
Really?
yeah.
No, I don't body. So that's
Yeah.
okay.
So I mean, this if just pay attention. Like some people, they could eat something and their stuff will swell up because they probably intake something too much, or they have an allergy, or something like that. So you just gotta be consistent on what you're eating. It's gonna be terrible because you gotta sometimes get rid of taste. You just got. I don't like tomatoes and.
You ever just eat something too much and you feel like you're gonna throw it up? I'm just general question,
Yeah,
but
I did that many a times.
oh Lord, so that's a thing too. All right, too easy. So moving forward, I want to talk about just touch on your comp a little bit for bodybuilding. So what were some of the things you learned during and after your first comp? Well, how about this? How did you feel after you did your first comp in bodybuilding? We'll just
Okay,
stick in
the
that.
first one I did was very interesting because I went from 238 down to 176 in that 14 weeks. And it was interesting because I haven't felt that way in a long time. So when I stepped on stage, I'm not really stage fright at all. So when I stepped on there, it's more that how my body was reacting. It was like I wasn't really used in that weight. So say for instance, you weigh this much, then you go down for show prep, but you haven't weighed this weight in like 20 years. So my body was like I felt good, but I almost didn't feel I had control. Because
Over your body or
my body. The reason
Okay.
why is because I wasn't in my body for that long. Have you ever heard the concept of, if you get like if you do something, if you're not used to being that way, it can actually feel kind of like it's hard to explain because it's almost a 60-pound difference. So remember, I was 238 and I weighed 176.
Oh, that cut had to be a motherfucker.
Yeah, so it was terrible, but now my body's really used to it. So I have much control and my body's much harder now. Because yes, you could go down in weight, but sometimes your skin is soft. So you could come in with the appearance of being soft.
Okay.
So that's how my first one was. It was good. I placed good, but I felt like I needed to be conditioned in that weight longer.
Were you pleased with the results of
Oh
your
yeah,
first comp?
Oh yeah, because I lost all that weight and I got much healthier again. I really didn't. After that, I only went back up to no more than like 220, and right now I'm 178, 177 right now. So I'm still within that mark, that show margin now.
So allow me to ask this, based on the knowledge you just dropped in the story that you just gave us on that, what's some of the biggest misconception people will have about bodybuilding that you feel like we need to be more aware of?
Okay, I'm gonna use this as an example, okay? When I'm out there, once I'm amongst everyone in here, it's like everyone's the same. But when you're actually out there, if you actually look around, it's not that many people who really get down with the grind. So people will look at me
Making good time.
and like say, but I was in the bank, and people will look at me like, or they'll ask me, and like old heads will ask me, how much you bench? That's the first thing that come out of their mouth.
Based on the physique and everything. Okay,
and then they was like, so what are you doing like that? Or they ask me, what am I doing? Or how's this or how's that? And I'm kind of funny, especially when someone asks me. They say, how do you get the weight that way? I say, how much rage you got in you? That's what I say. I say, how much rage? You got enough rage in you? You could get it. But I said, nah, I just decided to dedicate myself to it. I mean, I don't really have any crazy habits. I just do this now. And try to better myself and keep myself healthy as much as possible. So that's one of my main goals.
Do you think bodybuilding is for everyone?
I mean, it's bodybuilding for everybody. Everyone could do it, but it doesn't mean that's for everybody, because the reason why, you have to be in the mindset for it. Remember, this bodybuilding and this weight training, and like bodybuilding and weightlifting. There's two. Bodybuilding is actually structuring your body for, a way you want it. Weightlifting is to keep you, like almost keep you going, get your strength going and stuff. So there's a significant difference because, I mean, that's been a big debate because people be like, okay, you bodybuild or you weight train or you power lift or you CrossFit, because everybody's physique is completely different when they train like that. Think about how basketball, football, wrestlers, like I said, this depends on if bodybuild's for everybody, if it can be, but I think it's the most mental form of it, because weightlifting, you just gotta go in there and move weight. Powerlifting, you know what you gotta do. It's set in stone. But bodybuilding, you have to, it's the breakdown, the bust down. You gotta be like the food, the cardio, what training you need to do that day, what muscle groups you need to emphasize more in order to get more definition in or better growth in. Because after you get done with the show, they give you all the feedback and you got to attack those parts that they want you to attack. So the next show, they have all your documents and see if you changed. That's how it actually works. So this is, so if you get judged and they tell you you need to increase here, decrease here, this, or this, they actually have you down on the list.
We hit the 20-minute mark. Allow me to ask this one last question, then, because I know you got to get your gains. What are some things you like about bodybuilding, personally, you like about it and you dislike about it, and we'll cut it here.
Okay. What I like about bodybuilding is the fact that it's something that is truly yours. No one else in this world could tell you how to structure your body but yourself. You're doing this. So if you do it, it's all on you. You have people who will tell you, but the motivation is eternally yours. So if you do it and you make your body that way, you made it that way. No one else has truly, they coached you, but you're putting the time in. You're staying up late. You're getting to sleep. You're doing the cardio. So in the end result, you should be 100% proud that you're able to structure your body to anatomy that is good, that you like. So whatever your body structure is, from like classic physique to bodybuilding, whatever you want,
yes, sir.
That's what you need to get. So like I said, when it comes to me, the first thing I ask anybody who asks me questions, what do you want? What do you want your body to look like? Because in the end of the day, if you get your body the way you wanted to get, you'll be happy with your own self. If you never achieve that goal, and it could really mess you up. Me personally, I'm actually happy that my body's the way it is, because I'm actually dialed back down. I feel good about myself. No more pot belly, none of that stuff, because you will get a pot belly if you power lift. Like, seriously, power lift. It happens, so be it. Your core is the
coming
key.
out our neck, y'all know.
No, the core is the key behind all that. It was only one strongman that defied all that.
I got you.
I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Mario Puccinowski. He looked like a bodybuilder. I don't know if you ever seen him. He's the one who won it a lot.
Is he a North Carolina native?
No, he's like Polish or something like that.
Mario, say that name again.
Mario Puccinowski.
I'm gonna do some research on him.
He's the one who won it like 6 times in a row. That's what actually got me into wanting to be strong. I saw him and he looked like a bodybuilder compared to everybody else. He was
in the realm of powerlifting.
Yes.
And strong. Okay.
And he was blowing them out the water on everything.
In strength.
Yeah. Then he went to fight MMA. So you need to do some research on him.
So he was HIM. I got you.
Yeah. So you need to do some research, because everyone used to Eddie Hall and all of them. Before that, it was that guy, and he was that guy. Like, he was near that anchor drag, running with it. He was leaving them by like 20, 30 seconds, destroying them. So that made me get a good concept of that. You could have that bodybuilder look, but be ridiculously strong, and that's what actually set me to go down that path of
and in bodybuilding,
strength and having your body right. So he actually got me into the strong game about that. I just saw him and I was like, what the hell is that? Like I said, if you've never seen him, you need to do some research on him, because he was wild. He was breaking some numbers. It's not like this 1,000-pound deadlifts and stuff like that. No, he was just
my bad back.
He was just strong. He was just ridiculously strong at the time.
And then last thing, just want to ask for clarification before we go. Is there anything you dislike about bodybuilding? Fitness influencer, knowledge, just you personally, is there anything in the bodybuilding realm that you dislike?
It's only a couple, two things, okay?
Okay.
One thing I don't like is if they try to tell you a certain path you need to go down in order to achieve something.
In the realm of bodybuilding.
In the bodybuilding. You can achieve it the best way it fits you. And one last thing, this goes for everybody in this. Stop beating yourself up on weight you used to be able to do when you was younger. Just stop it, because weight you could do when you're younger, then you get injured. Be concerned about what you could do at that moment in time in life, because everyone could do anything better when they were younger. Some people couldn't do nothing when they was younger. They could do stuff now. So you need to focus on hand, your person, because I see so many people coming to me, man, I used to do this, or just forget about this, because I used to do this, I used to do that, but now you got to focus on what's best for you. Avoid injuries as much as possible. I'm not saying don't push yourself to the limit, because everyone needs to at least find out what their limit breaker is. But you need to be more smart after you find it. And when you find it, you might not be able to recover from it properly. So completely forget about all the stuff you used to do and try to focus on getting your body to where it needs to be now. All right? That's it. That's one of the main things I tell everybody, because that's the one thing I hear. No matter where I'm at, someone come to me, yeah, when I was young, I used to do this. Yeah, I understand, but just focus on now. Get your mind right. Go back in there and get it done.
Yes, sir. We'll cut it here for now, y'all.
Yeah.
Sir, again, I do apologize if I interrupted your training regime. I'm going to clean up everything here. Sir, thank you so much for dropping in the knowledge and the jewels. When we have more time and when it's more feasible, when you're not on a training schedule, allow me to, sometime maybe during winter, allow me to bring you back as a returning guest.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's more and more knowledge you have to give, but you got to get your gains in. So with that being said, blessings to you, and we are out.
Okay.